Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So I know I sound even worse than I did in the last one. I'm like really sick, but I need to film this obviously. So yeah, this is part 4 of Has Anyone Heard of the Left Right game? So I'm gonna start reading it. Hi guys, firstly I want to apologize for not being at my laptop for the past few days. I had to attend a wedding in Scotland for one of my uni friends. They booked it in midweek, and between you and me, I don't think it's going to last. Which means not only have I neglected you guys, but I've also wasted money on a rental suit and a John Lewis tea set. I always thank you for your help in my ongoing attempt to find Alice, and I'm now in full contact with the radio show she was working for, and they'll be sending over Rob's submission to the show as soon as they can. I've also looked up every town named Jumpland, and I've contacted residents from each of them. None of them have a particular junction mentioned with the previous logs, Sagamore Row and Acer Street. I've even combed Google Maps to make sure. I'm not sure which town Alice passed through last February, but it doesn't seem to exist on public record. The guy who promised to retrace the route from the beer shop came through, and I sent me a few possible addresses for Rob. He also mentioned looking into the game itself more. I'm not sure which he means by that, but I want to be clear. Please, don't play this game on my behalf. I don't want that on my conscience. Okay, without further ado, here's the following log. Thanks again. The Left Right game. Draft 1. 10/2/2017. Possible opening. I want to address you, the listener, for a moment without an advance notice concerning the following episode. I'm sure it's not been lost on you that every installment of the series so far has played the host to some strange, unexplainable occurrence. It's spanned a great of many miles to travel. It goes without saying. This has been by design. I've been summarizing the countless hours of uneventful metering and taking extra care to document the strange phenomena we've encountered along the way. I want the story to be fast-moving, to have a real feel of progress with every chapter. If that sense of exploratory intriguement is why you're listening to the show, I completely understand. I'm certain it is a primary draw for almost all of you. The twists, the turns, the mysterious, strange encounters along the impossible road. But if that is the case, I feel like it's my duty to inform you that apart from the few notable exceptions, there will be almost no ground covered in this segment. And the monsters we've encountered will all be human too. Stress, divulgence, discomfort, and as one might imagine, grief. If you want to read the sentences of this episode on the website and wait for the next part, then you will be all caught up. I'm sure we'll be back on our way, heading once more to the great unknown. But I feel like it's important to give the aftermath of Ace's capture its own episode, in part due to the significance of the revelations that are unearthed in its wake, but also as a gesture of deference to the man we lost. This is the story of our second night on the road. As we make the left turn, the horrifying space behind us is quickly replaced by a quiet emptiness ahead. The regular crawls defeated towards the waiting convoy. The remaining 4 cars are parked haphazardly, taking up more than half the road. Rob drifts to the far end of the tarmac, looking to overtake and resume formation. Both of his hands rest on the steering wheel, his eyes fixed on some distant point in space. It's not hard to imagine that behind the focus and quiet control, there's a man in turmoil. A man who can't bring himself to say anything in fear of saying too much. Yes, this is Bristol to all cars. We're heading back on the road. Get yourselves in formation and make way for those around you. We got a while driving before we stopped for the night. Bristol, where's Ferryman? Yes, Ferryman's here. Apollo, where's Ace? Yes. Ace is making across. Apollo, what? Lythe, what the fuck? Bristol, where is he? I would be simple to describe what had taken place, or at least summarize the barest facts. What happened to Ace, where he is now, why he isn't coming back, but for some reason I can't utter a word about what transpired. Something about the event itself makes it impossible to retell. If the exquisite phrases have been locked behind glass. Yes. We need to get to a stopping point. It isn't safe to stay here. Shortly after we turned the corner out of Sockable Row, Rob implied that the rest of the day's drive would be uneventful. He had waited just a few minutes longer. He would have been entirely correct. We're on the road for another 4 hours, both of us sitting quietly, attending our own preoccupations. As the forest gradually thins out, the landscape gives way to rolling cornfields that stretch out behind the horizon on both sides. Nothing notable happens, which is overriding as I find myself typing a lot more notes than I need. When the sun descends through the orange sky as we pull into a clearing beside the wild grove of an apple tree, Rob turns off the ignition of the two of us sit in silence. Rob needs to concentrate on driving had been a good excuse to stay quiet, a good excuse not to face each other. But the wheels are turning, however. The true reason for our mutual resistance is all too clear. A.S. Do you think he's dead? Rob. I don't know. Rob's response isn't reassuring, and I'm only grateful for that. There are no comforting words that he could give me, and my attempt would have seemed horrifically incertain. Monitoring the situation, wondrous gravity. Anyway, given the circumstances of Ace's capture, I'm not even sure which answer I want to hear. Liza peers at my window, rapping her knuckles against the glass with an aggressive impatience I expect nothing less about now. Everyone in the convoy has been making to follow an unrelative order. My order without explanation? They've been traveling for hours, accompanied by the glare absence of another human being. Looking in the weak mirror, I glimpsed at the rest of the convoy standing by their cars, watching them regular exponentially. Rob's hands still haven't left the wheel. With a sharp intake of breath, I push open the door and step out onto the grass. The ground is soft below me as I walk over to the group. There has recently been rain. I begin to address the rough semicircle. It almost feels like one of Rob's briefings. Eve, what's happening, Bristol? Apollo, did Ace turn back? I meet Apollo's eyes. For the briefest of moments, I consider telling them all that. Maybe it would save them from the slow, heavy ache occurring weighing down on my chest. Maybe it would just save me from a difficult conversation. Either way, I know I can't lie to them. They deserve the truth, however unpleasant. Yes, no, he didn't turn back. They crumpled his car. Life. The tow truck? Did he get out? The answer doesn't come easily. I'm being pressed to say the words aloud, and in doing so fully acknowledging what happened, it feels like I'm being driven into a funeral, like I'm being verbally marched towards an open casket. Eve, what happened to him, Bristol? Rob, he's dead, Eve. We hadn't heard Rob step out of the car when he reaches the group. It's hard to hide my relief as he takes over proceedings, addressing the group matter-of-factly. Now it really is one of his briefings. Rob, two guys in the tow truck coming out of Joplin. They got him. They took him back to the town with them. The way they were treating him, he won't last long. Bonnie, oh goodness. Eve, what? Rob, what are they doing to him? Rob, I can't tell you. Nothing like this has ever happened before. Life, we need to go back. Rob, it ain't gonna happen. Life, we're not going to fucking abandon him. A.S. Life? Life, we're going fucking back. Rob, no, we're not. Apollo, me and Rob can go. You know the place, right, Rob? Apollo, fuck you. Rob, the kid's dead, Apollo. Life, but he was alive when you last saw him. Rob, that's right. Life, so what point did you decide he was dead? Rob, when I saw him being carried away with a fucking toe hook sticking out of his mouth, goddammit. Rob shouldn't have said that. I understand his reasons, of course. He wants the convoy to know an important truth, that nothing can be done or could have been done to save Ace. His ghastly choice of words does the job, but it also sends a ripple of disturbance through the crowd, planting everyone's minds the gruesome image I've been trying to have ripped all day. Bonnie covers her mouth in shock and sorrow. Eve turns noticeably pale, and even Lithe, who is intent on leading the questioning, is taken aback. Lithe, did you see this, Bristol? I nod solemnly. And the group bristles at my affirmation. Yes, I saw enough. I had my eyes closed when it happened. Rob tries to save him until. Before I can finish my statement, my words are cut off by something truly unexpected. In spontaneous response to my words, a harsh outburst of mocking, sarcastic laughter rings out from it within the convoy. One by one, we turn towards the source, until we find ourselves staring at Blue Jay. Her unapologetic chuckles, filling the silent night air. A.S. Is something funny, Blue Jay? Blue Jay tries to speak through her all too slowly waiting laughter. Blue Jay. It's just, you called yourself a journalist. You close your eyes, my God. There it is. There it is. A.S. I'm sorry. Blue Jay. Do you close your eyes for magic tricks too? Eve. What the fuck, Blue Jay? Apollo. Come on, this isn't the time. Blue Jay. Oh, the time is well fucking overdue. Seriously? Are you all morons? The left-right game is a hoax. It's fake. Rob Guthrie played you all like fucking children. Ace is fine. He's probably an actor. Like the Hitchhiker was an actor. And those townspeople too. I mean, come on. The group is taken aback by Blue Jay's incredulous trade. She's clearly been holding her tongue since day one. A reaction to Ace's capture representing just one step too far. A.S. I saw Rob shoot one of those townspeople with a hunting rifle. I saw the wound. It was real. Blue Jay. It was a blood-filled squib. The rifle was probably loaded with blanks. You could buy those from any good theatrical retailer. Seriously, what the fuck is wrong with you people? Life. Okay, firstly, I don't like your fucking tone. Secondly, have you noticed that we've been the only cars on the road for almost 2 days? And what about Joplin? Are you suggesting Rob hired our whole town? That'd be fucking impossible. Blue Jay. Oh yeah, sure, that's impossible. But it's totally believable that we're driving on a magic road. Maybe this is the highest budget scam I've ever seen, but that is it. A scam. Algeries here is giving him all the publicity he wants. I mean, these people are sheep. But you're a fucking schizophrenic. My mom used to tell me that you can't strike a person for the high road. Staring down the barrel of Blue Jay's darkly self-satisfied grin, I'm more than tempted to make a dissent. A.S. Okay, Blue Jay, fair enough. I'm not going to pretend to know what's going on here. For all I know, you could be right. But why would Rob spend the production budget of a Hollywood film to trick a radio journalist and 2 vloggers? Trust me, our website doesn't get that much traffic for Blue Jay. Oh, don't be so self-important. It's not you he's trying to fool. Blue Jay turns to Rob, fixing him a glare of pure, unaltered triumph. Blue Jay. Admit it, Rob. I mean, this is all a fucking facade. Admit that you knew who I was before you even got out of my car. Rob's face looks like it's been carved for granite. The group looks to him for answers, but he delivers his response directly to Blue Jay. His eyes locked with hers. Wrong. It's true. I know who you are, Dennis. The atmosphere changes for a moment. Then I erupts into a foliage of whispers. Rob's answer clearly means something to everyone but me. Eve. Dennis? Light. Dennis Carver? Apollo. No, you serious? A.S. Who is Dennis Carver? Light. She's the biggest killjoy in the hobby. Blue Jay. Oh, fuck you, you fucking airhead. Rob. Dennis here is a member of the Skeptics and Rationalist Institute of America. She likes to get herself invited on ghost hunting expeditions under a false name so she can debunk them publicly. You may have gathered she don't believe in the supernatural. Blue Jay. Actually, I do believe in the supernatural. I believe that it's a billion-dollar industry built on selling comfortable lies to the gullible, and it thrives on shitty journalists and attention horror bloggers who are willing to spread whatever shit they think will get them clicks. Yes, that's why it took so long getting around the pine tree. Even when the truck was coming for Ace, you didn't think any of it was real? Blue Jay. Did you? As condescending as her delivery may be, her words spark a sudden realization. It's true. But with an inexplicably high budget and a few default stooges, you could possibly replicate most of what we've seen on the road. Yet, without realizing it, I found myself agreeing with Rob's version of events. Personally, defending the left-right game's validity against its diversities. I set off this journey much like Blue Jay, as a Scotch, confident skeptic. But somewhere between the tunnel and this moment, I became a believer. Blue Jay knows my lack of protest and turns back to Rob. Blue Jay, I'm flattered you went to all this trouble. I didn't know my work was so offensive to you. Rob, I admire your work, Dennis. Always have. That's why I brought you along. Blue Jay, that is bullshit. Tell your friend I can't act for shit. Blue Jay pulls the back of Marlowe's out of her coat, lighting up immediately, and goes to sit on the hood of her nearby car. Her demeanor clearly signals that her part of the conversation is over, though her words leave a bitter aftertaste for everyone involved. To synthesize, it must be exhausting spending 2 days with people whose opinions are diametrically opposed to your own, having to listen in silence when they collaborate their own seemingly preposterous views. Having said that, however, I'm incredibly glad she stopped talking. It reminds me of the time when we got on much better. The next sentence comes from Eve. Her voice is quivering. Eve, can we die here, Rob? The quiet force of her words turns everyone's head back towards Rob. It's clear that others have been thinking the same thing, and they're looking for Rob for an answer. Rob, it's possible. The road ain't ever killed anyone before, and not so long as everyone followed the rules. Lithe, but you said in your emails it was dangerous, Rob. That's right, Lithe. But you didn't feel like telling us that we could die out here? Rob turns to Lithe, clearly offended by her accusation. Rob, in the early 1920s, John Emerald killed 36 people and violated their bodies. In one of our videos, you guys went to his home in Virginia looking for the man's ghost. Bonnie and Clyde once spent $500 to stay at the Idaho murder house, a place that is supposed to possess its victims and force them to kill each other. Rob, if you all honestly believed in what you were chasing, you should be accepting death as an outcome of every time you step out. We're looking for evidence of another world. What we're doing here is of scientific significance. Of the moon landings, the cultural significance of Columbus reaching the Americas, and the whole lot of people dying doing both. If you accepted the risk chasing down the ghosts of 2-bit serial killers, you should be willing to accept the risks for this. Life looks like she's been scolded by a parent. There's a fire in her eyes as she observes Rob, meeting his criticism with scorn. Life, oh, so it's Ace's fault? He should have accepted the risk? Robbie, he didn't accept the risk. Ace made his decisions. He saw the dangers of the road firsthand and he got on going. I told you, this place could be dangerous. And maybe you didn't take that seriously, but you're not going to treat me like I learned any of you here under false pretenses. We're standing for a few moments in the uncomfortable void left by Rob's words. No one is quite sure where to look. Apollo. Well, what do we do now, Rob? Do we turn around? Rob, I ain't gonna make that decision for you. If you want to split off and head back, I suggest you wait till the morning and stagger your leaving. Time's by an hour or so. I ain't never seen nothing like what happened back there before, but this is the most people I've ever had play the game with. Maybe that's doing something. A.S. What do you mean by that, Rob? Well, it's the only thing that's changed. Truth is, this ain't our world. By all rights, we should be here. Even when it's one car, the road always tries to discourage you. Maybe it's like bacteria on a vein. One or two might slip unnoticed, but once it hits a certain point, it's like AS, like an immune response. You think the road's pushing back on foreign objects? Rob. And the bigger group, AS. The more violent response. It makes sense until Blue Jay laughs once more. Hearing her reaction, I realize what I'm saying. I can't help but feeling a little foolish at the idea. Rob, maybe it's just a theory. I don't know. Rob collects himself, regaining his composure. Rob, either way, you all have the morning to decide if you want to keep on the road. Bristol, if you want to go home, you gotta find someone to take you. I ain't ready to head back yet. He turns away from the group and marches on to the regular. I don't see him again for the rest of the evening, and I have no intention of bothering him. Eva and Life immediately crowd around me, asking if I'm all right and taking it in turns to disparage Rob's actions. I can't bring myself to join in. All I can bring myself to say is, A.S. Can I charge my phone in your car? The group has very little to say for the rest of the night. A deep solvency hangs in the air, dampening my substance of good cheer like wet leaves on a dwindling fire. No one offers any conversation. Apollo's reserve of quips has run dry. Everyone wonders where they're going to be going from here, pondering the sort of person they are in these circumstances. Do they press on towards danger or back towards safety and familiar ground? It's a question they have to figure out for themselves, ideally before sunrise. I already have questions of my own. About an hour after Rob's departure, bidding farewell to the rest of the group, I walk over to Lythan East's car. My bag is resting on the front seat, a black wire leading inside for a charging port. I decided not to tell the pair that I've been charging the detonator for a military-grade explosive, less than 10 meters away from them. It will be coming out during broadcast. If you're listening to this, sorry, girls. I pick up my bag, and checking that no one's looking, I make a beeline for the apple grove. I march through the small wood, the air growing still, the sounds of the convoy quickly fading behind me. The late evening darkness, with the moon shroud my length of crooked trees. I'm puzzled that I'm not more afraid. I've seen what happens on this road, and as I pass through the grove and into the neighboring field, intentionally isolating myself from the rest of the group, I'm quite aware that help won't be coming for me. Even so, as the corner rises up in every direction around me, I find myself almost incapable of fear. The day's events have drained me of emotion, and I'm now, with everything else pulled away, I'm left with only one driving directive, an overpowering urge to figure this road out, regardless of what that entails. Judging the distance I've traveled to be expectedly out of range for the convoy, I take the block of C4 out of my bag and place it on the ground. Gritting my teeth, my body cringes with self-inflicted dread. I press the power button on the Dakota and wait for something to happen. My worries of instant digression are allayed slightly as the grainy image of two outstretched hands comes into view, swiftly replaced by the menu screen. I worked fast, the words on the brown paper bag constantly reminding me of what I'm putting at risk with every passing second. Firstly, I type my own number into the phone, assuming, or at least hoping, that the mechanism isn't activated by outgoing calls. A few seconds later, my cell phone rings, giving me the Dakota's number. Checking the call logs, I find a second, different number, which seems to have made a call to the phone 3 times in a quick succession. If I were a betting woman, which I sometimes am, I suggest that this number belongs to whoever built the bomb, the cause representing an attempt to test the trigger prior to its implosion. If I'm right, then this should be the personal number of whoever was driving the car that crashed. My third discovery is a little more puzzling. No text has been sent from this phone. However, there was one solitary message residing on the phone's inbox. It's from a third, separate number, and it reads thus: "Please don't do this, Rob." I stare at those 4 words, the new information grating uncomfortably against my already preconceived theories. If this text is to be believed, and my previous deductions are all accurate, then that means Rob Guthrie was driving the car. That the C4 in the trunk had belonged to him. All this time I thought Rob may have been responsible for something terrible. But what if he was run off the road himself? If that is the case, it leads to an entirely new question. Who is responsible for his crash? As I begin to think it over, the air explodes around me. I'm jolted out of my examination by a powerful echoing voice which reverberates the very ear. The corner is thrown into a frenzy as the noise echoes from every direction, as if spoken by the air itself. Voice: "I've watched you questioning." Without a second hesitation, I turn off the Dakota and throw the block into my bag. I jump to my feet and scan the cornfield for whoever spoke the words. Backing away towards the convoy, suddenly realizing how far I am from my friends, I break into a run, my boots pounding against the dirt as I flee back to the woods. Less than a minute later, I'm bursting out of the trees, my bag swinging in the weight of the block. Everyone's in their car, seemingly fast asleep. I'm staring to think there's on to something. With no one to talk to, I have a long day ahead of me. I suppose there's no farther recourse but to catch my breath, write up my immediate thoughts, and then finally get some much-needed rest. I feel a dull pressure behind my eyes as I step towards the regular, quietly opening the back door next to my seating area, carefully hide the block under my luggage, then silently closing the door again. I wander around to the passenger side, where my notes are waiting to be typed. I reach out to grab the handle, gripping it tightly. I don't open the door, in fact. After a moment staring through the glass, I let go. The pressure behind my eyes gives way, and before I know it, I've slid down to the damp ground, and my back against the cool, hard metal of the door. The wind catches in my throat as ugly tears stream down my cheeks. Breath shudders as I inhale, and my attempt to breathe out plays the world as a quiet, inclining sob. The tears take me by surprise. I don't wipe them away. In a bittersweet way, they're welcome. Necessarily even. They carry with them a familiar sense of heart-trending release. By the time they've run dry, I feel like I might have just been able to move on from the events of the day. The sound of my hands are just a little quieter now that I've paid them their due. Bonnie, are you okay, honey? I'm picking myself up when I see Bonnie walking carefully over to the regular. I brush myself off, a little embarrassed at being caught. Yes, I didn't know you were awake, Bonnie. I'm a light sleeper at Martin Klein Stores. Do you need someone to talk to? Yes, I think I just need to sleep. Thanks, Bonnie. Bonnie, my name is Linda, if you were wondering. Yes. Alice? Bonnie, that's a beautiful name. Well, Alice, I don't talk much, but I know how to listen if you ever want to talk to me. For the first time since the pine fell, I find myself smiling. It's a weak smile, but it's a smile nonetheless. Yes, thank you, Linda. I might take you up on that. Have a good night. Bonnie. Have a good night. Bonnie starts to walk over back to her car before pausing and turning around. One last piece of comfort to offer. Bonnie. And remember, everything will be alright once we get to Wintery Bay. I frown a little, unsure what Bonnie means. She smiles back blankly and resumes to pass back to her car. She mentioned that place before. Upon leaving Jumpland, in what seemed like a moment of ideal remembrance, how she mentioned, it's just how now it doesn't seem like a remembrance at all. After everything that's gone on, all the suspicion I've been directing at wrong, all my worry for Ace, is something the matter with Bonnie? Perhaps I'm misunderstanding. Perhaps Bonnie misspoke. But all at the same time, the brief comfort in her words avoided me has already faded away, leaving a familiar feeling of confusion and paranoia in its place. I let myself into the passenger side, type up a few pressing notes, and then climb onto the air mattress. Sleep doesn't come easily. I close my eyes and try to convince myself that tomorrow will be better than this harrowing day. Yet every time I make the particular argument, a voice in my head responds, that may depend on which way you turn. Okay, guys, so I hope you enjoyed this video. This was part 4 of Has Anyone Heard of the Left-Right game? Sorry for being sick and literally sounding like death, like I did in my last video, but I feel like I sound worse in this video. I don't know. Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe.